Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome. This particular vlog, I would like to talk a little bit about the idea of what it is to be outside a universe. And actually, I would like to visit the idea of the original universe or construct from which all universes reside, and to focus on one particular thing, which is the infinite aspect of life. I know that there is quite a few individuals on this planet, and we're all, in the same boat here, but we've all been compromised in regard to our understanding. And when we first came into this particular universe, what we have, as far as understanding goes, has been concealed from us. So there's a great limitation taking place as far as our understanding of what is and what is not. And there's been a lot of limitations put on what resides within this particular construct or universe. And it's, based on the compromise that has taken place, and as well as the bodies that we reside in. These bodies, I'm under I'm under the particular conviction that not only have they been compromised on an energy level, as far as within our auric field and implants and so forth and that type of thing, but also the very physical engineering of the vessel has been compromised. Um, DNA shut off, and certain aspects chemically, which causes premature aging, and ad infinitum to the idea of these vessels expiring quickly. But not only that, when I'm looking at the idea of engineering and what I've come to understand pertaining to the fourth density, or what is recognized as the fourth density, that the pineal gland, I'm under the conviction, and have been for quite a long time, that it has been engineered as a biological implant to only allow one to experience the fourth density. Now, people would jump on this boat real quick and say, no, that's not right, that's not correct, because I experienced this, I experienced that, I experienced this, and yada, 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 and I've known all this other stuff because of this, and it's not that, it's more than the fourth density. But what I would have to say to that is that, now here's a footnote. This has taken me years and years and years and years to process. One of the reasons why I got on the internet was to look to see if I could find anybody that understood what I had come to realization of. Like I said, this took a long time for me to come to the realization, and then once I was bedridden, everything kind of just flooded, and that took years and years for me to process that information. So it wasn't until 2007 that I actually started looking, and that's like many, many years after after the fact of me going through what I went through. And one of the individuals that I ran across, which actually was the only person that I ran across, that was aware of what I'm about ready to talk about concerning the fourth density, is George Kasavasilis. Now, you may agree or disagree with George on a lot of things, and George has kind of been all over the map on stuff, but he's been pretty, if you listen to him as a whole, he's been very consistent, okay? And he's gone through plenty of stuff within this incarnation alone. So I'm just saying, what he was saying concerning the fourth density, I quickly just perked up, and I go, and he started using terms like synthetic light constructs. And now, those weren't terms that I would use at the time. I was more associating it with like Star Trek holodeck type of stuff, That's the only thing that I could put to words that made any sense to me. But him saying that, I go, it just opened everything up, and I start reflecting back on, because, I was a biblical student for a long, 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 long time. Student, mind you, learning the languages, the ancient languages and so forth, idioms, culture, and that type of thing. So that stuff recalls to me, if someone says something, boom, I know what to say back, I understand what it means and all this other stuff. Not only that, I internalized a lot of that. I was always looking for what was behind the door, if you know what I mean. So when I heard George say that, all that stuff start clicking. I go, okay, things start lining up because we're talking about many years of processing and hearing other people's out of body testimonials and their after death, OBE type of situations, and communicating their testimonial. And I just start piecing things together. All right. So I know based on my own experiences and all this other stuff, and then what George said, it just like boom, clicked. And then I start hearing things after George that agreed with that. And I go, okay, yeah, I'm on track. I've been on track for a long time. It's been a lonely road, but I've been on track. But the thing of it is that what I'm saying is that the body being compromised and only being able to go through the pineal gland to see the universe, to me is first of all, it's an absurd concept because the way I've came to understand things is through my heart energy. Another thing that I connected with George on. Okay, it wasn't through the mind and it wasn't through the body. It was through heart core, what I call heart core energy. Okay, there might be another name for it. It doesn't really matter. But it wasn't through the way in which everybody so-called says that they're able to see the universe. Not to say that the pineal gland originally wasn't used for that, but I'm thinking it's been, like everything here, it's been compromised and only allowing you to see into the fourth density. Now, focusing on the fourth density, there's synthetic like constructs. You have everything that simulates the idea of the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth densities. Okay? It's multi-layered. It is the biggest expanse within this universe. So if you go into it, you think that's all there is. There is duplication of the universe within this densities realm because it's multi-layered. So when people talk about these different expanses, that these are these different realms and different expanses, my guess is that they haven't even reached the void yet. The first void, because there's a barrier. There's a barrier around every single universe, by the way. Okay? But my guess is that what they're experiencing is the fourth density, and they think it's something other than that. Okay, I didn't want to capitalize on that. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because what I'm going to look to do here is I'm looking to encourage you to use your imagination because imagination is key here because everybody wants nuts and bolts and everything, but they don't seem to understand that everything is not created by nuts and bolts. Everything was created through the imagination of the power of who we are truly as spiritual beings. And unfortunately, some people won't recognize that until they're out of body. But let's use our imagination here because I think this is going to be pretty cool, all right? We're going to look at the infinite. So, what we have there, it looks sort of like an egg. By the way, I got this concept from the Palladians, all right? And I think it's very valid. So, if anything at all, it's a good tool to be able to use your imagination and see things from a greater perspective. Again, we're going to focus on the infinite. Now, there's plenty that believe that this universe alone is all that there is and it's just multidimensional, and so that's what seems like there's more universes, and that's not, from my perspective, that's not true. That's, again, just a limited perspective, because we've been compromised here on this planet. So anyhow, then you have those that say they put a number on it, how many universes there are, and I've heard one individual say that there's 16, and I don't agree with that at all. More like a quintillion, if you're going to put a number on it, okay? 10 to the 40th power, So what you have here, this little egg shape, this is known as the absolutum, okay? Which is a living construct, right? So this is known as the original universe or creation. I like to use the word creation because creation is an ongoing thing. It has to be an ongoing thing for it to exist. So you got a quintillion. Let's just use that number, quintillion, because you can't count that high anyhow, of universes within it. Now each construct is different. It's not all the same. Like in this universe, you know, this universe is one of frequency, vibration, and energy. But frequency, vibration, and energy is the way that we experience self within this particular creation. It doesn't make it that's what we are, because that's not what we are. It's just the way that we see self differently. We're able to mirror ourselves through that template of design, okay? I'll give an analogy for that. I think this is a decent one. It helps to create imagery in your mind, and that's what's important here. If you have a house and you go into a house, right, you have many rooms within that house, and you have a wardrobe of different clothes and ways to do your hair and look differently and all this type of thing, you know, you're not the house, but you're living in the house and you're experiencing self. Or you have the ability to experience self differently from moment to moment, day to day. Okay, so the mirrors that are in the house are reflections of how you're experiencing self differently. You're able to see self, you know, in the process. So think of the design of the house as a universe, okay? And you go into the house, you live within it, although you can leave it. Typically that's what you should be able to do here, but like I said, things have been compromised. But you can go into it, live it, experience self differently, and have this vicarious type of ongoing, you know, experience, right? Again, think of the universe, a universe or a construct similar to that. And that will kind of help you, because we're going to look at the infinite now, all right? Now everybody thinks, because they've been compromised here, and I'm just talking, folks. I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to get you to use your imagination, because I think imagination is the key here. We have all these different constructs, right? And this one, like I said, is one of vibration, frequency, vibration, in energy. That's how we experience ourselves within this particular construct. But they're all different. All these universes are different. Okay? Each one of them is different. They may be similar sometimes with one another. Not to say there's not there's not to say that there's not other universes that are made up of frequency, vibration, and energy, but it's done differently. It's not like this one. So you have unique expressions, right? Creations. But mostly they're different from one another. That's the whole idea. It's sort of like going to an amusement park and you get bored with the rides, you know, until they start to do things different with the amusement park and they refurbish it and they add new attractions and rides and stuff like that. Then you go, okay, maybe I'll go check it out again. Same thing. The idea of drama and the experience is what keeps it going. Interest. If that wasn't there, creation would stop, because creation is an ongoing thing. In order for it to be ongoing, it needs to expand, and the creators need to experience self differently. That's what I come to understand, and I'm sticking with it, because that's how it's been working, and that's my grand scheme vision concerning of how this stuff works. Now, what I was really wanting you to look at after saying all that was this part. Zoop, out here. This part out here is the infinite. We experience the infinite in here, but this is not what we are. This is just the house. Remember the analogy of the house? We're out here. We're outdoors. The infinite aspect of self. Now that is something altogether different. We're able to experience ourselves like a virtual reality experience, you know. And it is a reality. But, you know, obviously a very convincing one, right? But this is where we're plugged in at. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say here. Use your imagination and realize you're not bound to anything. Okay, that's the purpose for this vlog here. It's just to get you to use your imagination and understand that you're way more than you've ever known. And it's, part of the game is that you've been kept from it. But that's coming full circle. So, what do you think, folks? Comment in the comment section. There's a whole lot more that could be said about this, but I just thought I'd just wet your whistle, so to speak, and see if this was interesting for you to contemplate. I find it interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. So, peace to everybody, and leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll do this again quickly.